Hey guys, welcome to the jungle. We're out here training for the South Thailand Motocross Championship, and in this video we're going to talk about how to train new jumps when you get to a new track that you're not familiar with. Okay, and I've made like a 4-step method that you can apply to make it easier and safer and probably more fun to try new jumps on new tracks. Okay, so let's go through it quickly, and then I'll go through it again in more detail with a few examples. So firstly, you want to categorize the jumps on the track into easy, and then maybe not, and then you want to also, if there's any jumps you definitely know you shouldn't try, then you want to know where they are on the track, for obvious reasons. Then the next thing, you want to categorize the jumps also into which jumps you should try to over jump or under jump, meaning some jumps are actually safer if you go a little bit too fast than if you go a little bit too slow. But other jumps, you can easily kind of just ease your way into it and just like go a little bit too slow and not jump far enough, and you can get away with that, no problem. I'll make an example later. And then after that, you will start with all the easy jumps, of course, and that way you will actually build up confidence and get familiar with the difficult jumps as well while you circulate the track and jump the easy jumps, okay? And then of course, you want to pay attention to other riders and care about your safety. So that's the fourth one. So when you want to try some of the jumps that you think are a bit challenging, then you should probably wait until there's not like a whole bunch of riders behind you, for example, like a bunch of fast guys coming. You don't want to get sketchy if there's a bunch of fast guys coming and jumping right behind you, and you don't want to mess up on the landing zone and get sketchy and then get landed on or something. So clear track. When you want to try some of the difficult jumps, make sure there's a clear track behind you, like no riders coming. That's a really good one. Okay, let's go into a little bit more detail. So when you're rolling around, maybe cruising around the track or even doing a track walk, you want to start to categorize these jumps. And so easy jumps will be small tabletops, and maybe like the ones I call maybe jumps is maybe big tabletops. You're maybe not sure you've done something like that before. Also, you want to look at the takeoffs. If the takeoff of a jump has many grooves or some bumps and kickers or some holes or rocks or anything uneven, that will also make a jump a maybe jump, because even if the shape and the structure and the size of the jump appears easy, it can be a difficult jump or dangerous. Okay, and then the jumps you definitely don't want to be doing if you're just like an average motocross rider that has never done supercross, then you don't want to try to do any big supercross jumps, for example, for obvious reasons, and we will get to that later. Now let's talk about categorization of over jumping and under jumping. So I'll make a little drawing down here. So let's say you got a jump here, you're coming this way, and it's a normal tabletop, okay? Very long, nice landing here. So here you could easily start slow, and you could like jump halfway and land on the flat here, no big deal. It would be totally safe. Then next lap you can just go a little bit faster and then see, oh, now you're landing, almost clearing it. You're landing just before the down ramp. Okay, so here you maybe have a slightly hard landing. Then you know, okay, next lap you just decide with some determination, okay, you're gonna give it a bit more than you did last time, and then you'll probably find yourself landing somewhere nice and soft right here on the down ramp. Now let's talk about a different case where, so this was an example of where it's safer to, or it's safe to under jump the jump, like you don't have to try to go hard and like clear it on the first try or anything like that. Now let's make an example where you would actually want to try to like make sure you clear it the first time, or even like over jumping a little bit. It will still be quite soft to land down here at the last part of the down ramp, that's still a soft landing place, okay? And this is like a long landing, so there's a lot of room for error, actually. So let's imagine that the track is a little bit different here. Let's imagine there's like a little dip here, which they do on some tracks. This is something they have on many tracks in order to actually just save a bit of soil. Like you don't have to like collect that much soil to build the jump. So there you might have like big jumps where there's this little dip between. So it's not the end of the world if you land right here, okay? So if you underjump, you land here and you case it pretty hard, but it's not the end of the world. So they make sure usually it's not the end of the world here. So, but the point is, in this case, with a jump like this where there's a little bit of a gap or dip between the takeoff and the landing, it's like slightly supercrossy, but it's not a real supercross. Then it would be better to just like, after you've tried a few times with a couple of very small jumps, then just to kind of go for it, give it a bit extra, like a proper amount of extra throttle, and then like go for over jumping or at least clearing, okay? So then you just say, okay, now I'm gonna try to give it the proper amount of throttle and then see if you can make sure you clear it. Because it's gonna be a lot softer to land in this area here than in this area here. And there's a larger room for error in this area, probably in this case, particular case, okay? This may not apply for every jump, okay? So don't go out there and be silly. But in this case, there's more room for error here than here. Just an example. And the last two steps are kind of obvious. Start with the easy jumps and then just roll the hard jumps. And just to make sure you guys know what I mean about the definitely not kind of jumps, I'll just draw one. I'll draw a good old supercross double jump and with some very sharp corners just to make clear. So even though, let's say you're an experienced motocross rider and let's say there's just 10 meters from here to here or 30 feet. So it's actually not a big jump, okay? But in this case, if you land right, if you case it and you land right here, it's gonna get ugly. So if you're not 100% sure you can clear a supercross double, especially if it's a bigger one like 15 or 20 meters, then don't do it. You have to build it up on previous experience to make sure that you can do it in any style of supercross jump. You want to make sure that you're like basically 99% sure you can do it. So that falls straight into the not to try category. So just to make that clear, if you see anything like that, in supercross they have like a big triple, then they have another one here where there's usually 30 meters or there's usually like 15 meters between or 45 feet or something like that. And then you got like 90-foot triple if it's a big old triple in supercross. So if you're not very skilled in motocross, then don't try these kind of supercross jumps when you get to a new track. So this was a good way to get started on new tracks, and I hope you found this useful, and I hope it will help you have more fun and stay more safe when you go riding. By the way, I never broke a bone from motocross, fun fact. And that is because I try not to go over my limits. Just build everything up step by step and you'll be fine. But I did break my arm from running and I did break my jaw from bicycling. Just for fun, fun facts. See you on the next one.